Good morning! Let's do this Tuesday thing. Hey, how are you guys doing this morning? Here we are, back in the car. It was a fast sleep last night. Got done, as you probably saw, 9:30 seeing clients. Back this morning, right about 8 o'clock, on my way to see a middle school kid that's having trouble going to school today.
When this life gets a little tough, the people start to run. Well, don't you just walk away? That's when I'll say, well, don't give up.
So, you know, as part of our school refusal program, when they are struggling going to school, we go over and see them, talk to them about what's going on, why they're having trouble going to school, and then we then talk with their counselor and talk with their mom and dad and figure out what the plan of the day is. So I'm headed over to see them this morning. I hope you're doing super well on this Tuesday morning. Very nice day again in Kansas City. So you guys sit back, enjoy the ride. It's going to be an awesome day. All right. It's about 10 o'clock now, and I think I've got cross my fingers here, I think I got most of the kiddos in school today, or at least have got a plan for the day. You know, when I'm working with a family around school refusal, it really takes, I think, a comprehensive plan. And you know, a lot of times I'm working with the parents. It's a lot of times working with the parents to just change their process, because they get in this process of feeling this responsibility that regardless of what their child wants, that they got to make their kid go to school. They got to get them out of bed, and they got to make them eat breakfast, and they got to get them there on time, and they got to do all this stuff. And we forget that it's not the child it's not the parent that's got to go to school. It's the child that's got to go to school. And a lot of times I see that, or sometimes I see that we lose focus on that, how much the child needs to do for themselves to get themselves out of bed, right? So part of what I do is I have a list of expectations that I go over with the parents. One of those is that if your child's not running a fever or not vomiting, generally the schools have some parameters around calling in sick, the child in sick. But if they don't meet those parameters, don't call your child in sick or excused. Don't call your child in excused. We want to call them in unexcused. And there's a variety of reasons for that, but we want them to have natural consequences for the behavior. So when we call them inexcused, even though as parents we know that they should be going to school, that just kind of reinforces that behavior. It in a way, it sends to the message to the child like, well, I know you should be at the school, but I'm going to give you an excuse today to not be at school. And what a child learns is that you give excuses for them not being at school. So I know as a parent it's hard to call your child in unexcused, but that's one. There's a variety of other ones that we do, that we talk about. One of the main ones is creating some expectations for your child around the morning routine, and really knowing your limits on how much to prompt and engage your child in the morning. Don't go in 15 times and try to get them out of bed. The fear is, well, what happens if I don't do that? Then they're not going to go to school. They're not going to go. And you as a parent, so you get forced into doing all these things for the short term just to get them to go to school that day. But then guess what? Tomorrow comes and you got to do it again. Tomorrow comes and you got to do it again. And that becomes very tiring and exhausting, and you become frustrated and yell and everything else. So I tell my parents that I work with, if you guys remember bonbons, what I remember are some luxury candy that in the morning time, I just want you to eat your bonbons. I want you to create this system, these expectations, and then I want you to kind of back off and just to see how it goes.
I'm your fairy godmother, and tonight's the ball. Oh, you can't go like that. Not tonight. Ah, an escort. Another night.
New vanilla crispy bonbons, bite-sized scoops of creamy ice cream and a milk chocolate coating with a crispy crunch.
I'll take care of these. Why don't you run along?
Bonbons brand ice cream nuggets. Simply irresistible.
Oh, hey guys, how are you? Hey, do I look different? Do I look different? Hey, do I look different? Wow, you guys look totally different. You guys, oh my gosh. You guys, I have to tell you something. I have to tell you a little bit. I just got finished at the eye doctor. Long story short, I talk a lot about pushing through different situations, and for the last 2 to maybe 3 weeks, I've had some huge problems with my eyes. My gosh, when you guys have seen me every day, I've had a headache. My eyes just I feel like they've been popping out of my head. I've just have felt, my eyes have felt awful. And now I finally, the camera's bouncing. I'm going over a speed bump here. Through going to a different eye doctor and all kinds of stuff, guys. I feel tremendously different. I feel a lot better. Wow, I'm just now getting out for the first time, and my vision is clear. But the main thing is, these lenses are more comfortable than I had. I just felt like my lenses were pulling on my eye, and I was like pulling my eye out. I didn't tell you guys about it at the time, but it's really, I think, probably one of the things that I talk about a lot with people is what I just kept doing. I just kept pushing through. I just kept pushing through. I just kept saying to myself, you can do it, you can do it. I knew that I had an eye appointment in a couple weeks to check it out, but I just felt horrible. I just pushed through, pushed through, pushed through. I just tell myself, come on, you can do it, push through. What I found though is when I was struggling with my eyes, the more I was struggling with my eyes, the more that I was just sensitive to other things that were happening in my life. And I don't know about you guys, but as you might be struggling with something, you know, your tolerance and your sensitivity, your tolerance may be down, and your sensitivity, you may be more sensitive. You know, I would sit in the car line with my daughter, and I would just start to get I would get a little bit irritable. It's like, come on, can't you get out of that car a little bit faster? Come on, you know, geez, why is that kid taking so long to get out of that car? I mean, these are things I wouldn't say out loud, but these were things I was thinking in my mind, or, you know, just a whole bunch of different stuff. And I really, in those moments, had to be really self-aware. I had to be self-aware. I was like, okay, I know I'm more sensitive here. My tolerance, I've got a lower tolerance for things. I know my eyes are causing it. It's not necessarily that that the kids getting out of the car slower or anything else. I mean, they're doing the same thing that they normally do, getting out of the car. But I just wasn't feeling well. I just wasn't feeling well, guys. I'm feeling much better now. So anyway, my point in this is I think that self-awareness and just knowing yourself is really important. You guys hang tight here. Being self-aware, knowing yourself is really important. Knowing when you're tolerant, when you may be less tolerant of things, and recognizing because you are less tolerant that you're going to have to adjust yourself some in that situation, so you don't start yelling or whatever that you do. So anyway, guys, I'm a little taken back by just how good this feels and how much better I feel. So you thought that you had like Randy then. This is Randy 2.0, guys. Randy 2.0. Hey Instagram, how are you? It's Randy Floyd. Hey, I am sitting outside of Homer's today, Homer's Coffee House on 80th and Metcalf-ish. Hey, I just am really excited to connect with you guys today. You know, this live show's all about just answering your questions. I go on a different social network every day and just see if I can answer people's questions. Hope that I can help them out with maybe a question or two that they have about just their social emotional struggles, or just trying to get through the day-to-day life. So as I would go to this awareness and go, oh, okay, you're being this way because your eyes are hurting. Your eyes are hurting, and so you're more sensitive. Your tolerance is down. Okay, how are you going to deal with this differently? Because it's not about the kid getting out of the car. It's about the situation that you're in right now. And so as I'm thinking about this, as I'm talking with you, and just as I was thinking about it myself, because I think it's important for us to realize that we all have situations that we're in that we necessarily can't change. It may be a financial situation, it may be a relationship, it may be anxiety, it may be depression, it may be school, it may be work, it may be a lot of things. But the idea of pushing through, of telling yourself you can get through it, and not only focusing on telling yourself that, but saying it to yourself as you're having certain feelings. But the behavioral part is pushing through. Push through, come on, push through, I can do this. And so my hope for you today would be is to think about this idea of pushing through. And when you say, I can't do it anymore, say, come on, push through, I can do it, let's go, let's go. And you almost have to psych yourself up. You almost have to like, let's go, like pump yourself up, let's go. And so when I would start to feel that eye pain again, I'd go, push through, let's go, come on. And that we all struggle with different things. Some of us struggle more than others, but none of us are perfect. We all have things that we struggle with. So this show is all about just trying to give you little nuggets, little pieces of information for me, for you to be able to kind of think more about it and try to put it into the situation that you have going on in your life. Guys, hope that you've enjoyed the show. Would encourage you guys to leave me any comments, ask me a question, tell me a topic that you would like me to talk about, and I'll certainly do that. Tomorrow, we're on Twitter tomorrow. If you go to Twitter tomorrow, then you could see me on Twitter at noon, Twitter, Periscope. Anyway, guys, until next time, you guys take good care. Well, that was the live portion. I really enjoyed doing that each day. Something that I hope grows over time. I hope people use it as a resource. Is that, you know, you may be struggling something during your day, and you can just at noon on, you know, Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, that you can join me noon each day. You can ask me a question. You can ask me a question, and I'll certainly answer it. So today is one of those unusual days where you guys aren't going to see much of me going to clients' houses and doing those kind of things. Today's going to be about I got some program development today, so there's times during a couple times a month where instead of seeing clients in the evening, I focus on program. We got a variety of different programs that we do. One of the programs is just started this fall, which is I'm really excited about and going well so far, is the school refusal program. It's something that I find to be very interesting. Do a lot of work with kids in the morning when they refuse to go to school, and it's a very highly intensive program. So I'm just doing some stuff around that this afternoon. We've got a Be Kind Kansas program, which is something where we're all over the state of Kansas. We're trying to spread kindness, and there are Be Kind clubs, and there are Be Kind campaigns. We've got a Dance for Kansas coming up in October. Variety of things around that campaign. Be Kind Kansas, and then just really trying to program and do some stuff for this show. So a lot of the times you'll see me in the car going to clients' houses and then that kind of stuff. Well, I'm also doing other stuff. I'm just not seeing individual clients. I'm also doing a lot of other programs that I really enjoy. I believe in I think the reason why I do a variety of different programs is because I believe that there are many different ways to be socially and emotionally aware, or socially and emotionally well. That psychotherapy isn't the only way, that there are other ways, and so through kindness and positivity, and through a lot of other different ways, I believe that you could be well. So part of our program is offering a variety of services. Forgot we also include classes in that I'm programming for today and getting looking at for October classes. So today's just this afternoon and evening's all about just programming and making sure that all the different programs and services that we offer, make sure that they're going well.
When this life gets a little tough,